Oh, welcome into Half Expecting, the podcast for those of us who are expecting.
And for those of us who aren't,
I'm Stephen. I am expecting.
I'm Jake. And I'm not.
And today, my good pal,
Good
Robbie,
bloke.
good bloke, Robbie,
Robbie.
is here to visit.
And if you couldn't tell, he's from New England.
Extremely offensive to Robbie.
Sorry about that, Robbie.
He's going to hear this and just hate it. But we loved having Robbie
We
on the
loved it.
podcast. He is so charming and sweet and handsome.
Robbie is a cinematographer.
Yes.
He is a teacher and instructor for the performing arts. He and his wife have opened a school of performing arts for international students.
Shout out AFTA LA.
AFTA LA. Or no, it's AFTA LA.
That's right. AAFTA.
And what did Robbie talk to us about? Why did we bring him on?
Robbie is an expert because he is from Australia.
And he is a dad.
And he is a dad. Parenting from afar, parenting while your family is not around. From what I understand, it is very important to have your family close by. And for some of us, it's just not possible.
Yeah.
So what are the challenges? What are the pitfalls? What are the things that have gone well? There's even some perks in there that he posits.
Stephen, do you have family here?
I have aunts and uncles who are in Orange County, but as far as like my two nuclear parents, I do not.
Not to call them out, but you think they're going to come help?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
That side of the family, they show up.
Come on.
They're awesome.
Oh.
All of them are great.
I guess we didn't even need to do the episode then.
No,
You're privileged.
Yeah, I am.
You are of the few.
Yeah. I have many family members in California, but not super close. They're within a few hours
Sure.
away.
And that's basically a flight.
Yeah, it's basically a flight.
But Robbie was super vulnerable in sharing what has been really difficult about not having that family support, what it's been like, just the importance of finding your tribe, your people, your community, and the trials that have come with that.
Yeah.
And also just like some great anecdotes to being a parent, the difficulties of breastfeeding. And we told him, I don't want to spoil it, his wife is supposed to breastfeed. And so I think that was the biggest issue, is that he was trying to breastfeed. And we were like, Robbie, stop. Like, you know that it's her
He was trying
job.
to latch.
Yeah, he was trying to latch the child onto his teat.
Right.
And that's not
Robbie
right.
was trying to latch himself, and it was a whole mix-up.
I think actually it was better that he was on the podcast for his sake.
Yeah.
Because he walked away with a lot of clarity.
He learned some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were really clear with him about that. He did tell us about the village. He told us about having those built-in babysitters, how it can be so helpful sometimes.
Yeah.
And we want to know, before we get into the show, what's the weirdest babysitter story that you've got?
It could either be a time where you babysat or where you were in need of a babysitter, like a nightmare.
Or maybe you came back from dinner with your significant other and the babysitter said, things got wild.
A time you came home from dinner and you walked in on your babysitter doing...
Insert here. Maybe the babysitter wasn't even there. Maybe they left a note and said...
And you know what? Whoever's got our favorite comment, we're going to read it on the pod.
We'll read it on the pod.
So leave it in the comments or email it to us if it's verbose.
That is halfexpectingpod@gmail.com.
One more time?
halfexpectingpod@gmail.com.
Can you give it one more? But if you've come home from work and you check the mail, as you always do, and in the mail was an envelope with no return address. So you don't know who it's from. And inside the envelope is a check written out to Stephen Lee Busby Jr.
Yeah.
For the total sum of 73 cents.
halfexpectingpod@gmail.com. 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 This is Robbie's used dad robe.
The more I look at it, I'm like, I think I've washed it once.
There's some toothpaste, maybe
Yeah.
maybe a little spit up on the sleeves.
Yeah.
I'm proud to wear this.
When's the last time you used it?
Oh, yesterday?
Oh, this one. Oh,
yeah,
right. Okay.
like, yeah.
Fresh.
Fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, like I normally have clothes on underneath, like
Okay.
so it's sort of an overthrow, if that's any better. I shouldn't say normally, like always. I don't think I've ever been butt naked in it. Maybe. I don't know. I can't promise that, but that one's a clutch, like top of the line. It's not top of the line, it's so true. But like it's top of my list is what I mean to
Yeah.
There you
say
go.
for like dads to have.
Yeah.
Just put it on like the chair next to you.
Yeah.
So like that wake up, you're out of bed, you're straight into it.
Thank you for making the time, putting in all the effort, coming on the show. We're so thrilled to have you.
Thank you.
I want to know more just about the effort. How long was your drive this morning?
About 40 minutes. 40,
wow.
45
Was it
minutes.
really?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah,
from?
traffic, 9:00, and like North Hollywood, Studio City area.
Wow.
Yeah.
40 minutes from
Yeah, it should be half hour. It should be a half hour.
Yeah.
It's actually, to be honest, like when I was driving here, I was like, I'm closer than I thought to you.
Yeah,
Like
it took me
I
19 minutes the other day to get to your house.
Steven always beats me at everything, by the way.
Yeah, no, it's just
It's
like-
not because I was
It's
safe.
a part of the
I
relationship. You just
know,
get used to
yeah.
it.
I do
Yeah.
it in 40. Steven does it in 19.
Granted, it was at 10 p.m. or whenever I showed up at your door the other night.
That's helpful.
I want to preface this by saying the reason that we had you on the podcast, other than that you're lovely and wonderful and a good dad and fun to be around, you are a dad who is raising a child away, very far away from your family, from Jess's family. You're from Australia, if people couldn't tell that already, which that's a whole challenging thing to do. So I want to unpack that a little bit, and I want to dig in to your life, first of all. Who... Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
I just want to know a little bit about your dad, y'all's relationship. How are things with you and your dad? What was that relationship like?
My dad's awesome. Like, I feel like I'm going to go opposite direction. So I'll go later life and then come back to early life. I don't know why, but it feels right. Me and my dad are so close now. Like, he's like my best friend.
Oh, great.
Through COVID, actually, I was stuck in Australia, and it was like me and my dad. And it was kind of awesome at times. So like we got to hang out a lot. We drank a lot of scotch and watched, like, I kind of like got him into like binge watching things. Because he doesn't come from that world. We did so many series, and like my dad's was the one like, do we do one more? And I was like, we gotta go to bed. It's
3 a.m.
It was just such a great time to like hang, and then, you know, sometimes you'd pause and have like good conversations and stuff like that. So that was like a weirdly nice kind of passage of time to have with my dad before I fully moved over to Los Angeles as well.
Because you came out here around the same time I did, I thought.
2016 was the first time I was ever here, and then I was back and forth. I officially moved here in 2021. So I was back and forth, like spending as much time as my visa would allow me to in the country.
Yeah.
Then I would, go back and, But again, I was kind of in the filmmaking, acting landscape. The training out here is just so good that, like, this is where people take it the most serious.
Yeah.
So, like,
Robbie,
he's not-
we know what you're doing.
oh, we're deferring.
You've taken.
You've
you've
deflected.
taken-
Back to-
Let's go back.
so back to Russell is his name, Rusty.
Rusty.
Sweet.
Yeah, Rusty boy. Kind of going back a bit, he was very much involved in a lot of what I did. We did, like, I think he coached us in my football team, Australian rules football team, for a bit. And so we were really close growing up.
Yeah.
Him and my mum split when I was 13, 14-ish.
Yeah.
Maybe I was 13. Yeah.
That's a tough age to go
It
through
was.
that.
It was. I think they were trying to hang on for a little bit longer, but then they kind of split. It was like, I don't want to say it, but like maybe the better thing to happen for my dad and my relationship, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like when they split, me and my dad got way closer. Like, oh God, weird, but I'll go there. It's like the first time like I ever like had a really deep embrace with my dad as like a hug was like when they were splitting. And And it was like like I remember exactly where it was, and like it was just, you know, and he was like apologize. I don't know, there was like a sense of like I'd never seen that level of like vulnerability from my dad before.
Sure.
So, sorry, Dad, if you ever see this.
Oh,
He's
man.
like, "Are you fucking serious? Like what? At one time, and you're like."
He had never touched me before.
It was the first time I learned his name was Rusty.
I can see that though, where you're sort of like communicating, hey, I wasn't at my best because this wasn't the best thing for me personally. And so then, you know, our relationship wasn't the best.
And I think he grew a lot from that as well. Like his like level of like even emotional maturity, like dad pre that, he kind of had that like dad is very scary kind of mentality. And like, you know, like if he gets real angry and shows his bottom teeth, you're like, oh, run, like get out of
the
there.
bottom teeth move. Oh no!
And like and you're like, oh no, I pushed it too far.
Is he a pretty big guy? You're a pretty big guy. Yeah.
I'm not. I'm the runt. You know, like my dad was, I think, at full size, whatever that is. Like he's shrinking a little bit now.
Sure.
But he's like, he was like 6'2", 6'3". So I'm like 5'11" and 3/4. By the way, I wanted
That's
to
an
be,
even
I
6 if you ask
wanted to
me.
be 6, so I feel like a liar.
5'11" and a half.
Yeah.
Yep, I got you.
I think
Yeah.
you're both 6s to me.
Dude,
Aw,
with the
you're
right
You're both
shoe.
10s to me, but
Thank
Wow.
you. Yeah, thanks for the
Wow,
correction.
we're 6. Yeah.
Your dad have a face tell when he's
God, dude.
What's like the single feature that you're like, ooh, when I see that, similar to Rusty.
my dad had something that we would call the pitcher face, which is the face that he was a baseball player, the face that he would make on the mound to try and intimidate the batter. I have a story that one of my buddies, Scott, was over at our house for 4th of July one time, and my dad was making us hamburgers, and he had just quit smoking like the day before, cold turkey, no Nicorette, no anything. Dad's on the grill making hamburgers for everybody. Things are fine. And my dad asks everybody if they want cheese on their hamburger.
Sure.
And everybody says, yeah, sure, or no, or whatever it may be. So my dad serves Scott his hamburger with cheese on it. And Scott goes, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Busby. I actually wanted no cheese. Could I get no cheese on this? And my dad grabs the burger from him and just stares at him. And everybody's outside by the grill. We're just watching him just grind his molars into his neck and make this horrible face at my best
Show
buddy.
us the face.
Yeah, can you do it for
It's
the for the A
again.
cam?
I don't know if I can even. It's just
Ooh. Two no hitters with that face.
My son makes that exact face when he's pooping.
Maybe that's what your dad was doing. Maybe he was pooping.
yeah, he's probably pooping. He's always done that too. But I get the scariness of dad for sure.
My dad's got. He never did this like seriously. We would play fight sometimes, and you know it would be something where one of us would do that, and then now it's a little bit of this, and then my dad grew up in Boston in the 60s and like was raised on the streets. Like he had like a little gang of friends. Then I forget what they
The
called
Sharks.
themselves.
Yeah, it was the Sharks.
They each had a name. It would be like Larry Lion.
Oh,
or,
yeah.
you know, each one had like an intimidating name. His was Joe Fish because he had big lips. Joey Fish. So that was just to give you context. So they had this little gang, and my dad like got in fights. He would fight as a kid. So when we would play fight, it would go from like kind of fun to then he'd do this thing with his tongue. He'd go. It's like you can see that the front of the tongue is tucked behind the front, like the bottom teeth, and he's biting down. And when he would go, and now I'm just like, boom, 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 boom. Like he's just
You're like,
so,
oh my God.
no, he was
When
so.
you first did that, I was like, well, that looks silly. And then as soon as I was like, oh, wow. Yeah.
No,
that's,
flare the
it
nostrils
wiggles
a little
the
bit.
eyes.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
It would be this like, you know, and it was always for fun. It would be like two or three quick pass to the chin, and I'm just like on the floor laughing. Like it was always in good nature, but I'm like, oh, I'm seeing like 10-year-old Joey Fish fending for his life. Yeah, it's a good tell. I hope to use it someday.
It's just kind of that idea that like, oh yeah, I've got something else. I've got
Yeah.
another gear
Yeah.
in me, young boy. Right? It's kind of that like alpha, like
No idea.
Oh, you want to unlock that? You ready to go? Right? And you're like, oh, shit.
I don't think you're at that level yet, son.
No. See, there's something I don't know about our family, or maybe even just that generation. It's like the guys where, you know, you hit that switch and you just go, right? You want to like that. You want to go type like switch where like it just clicks. And that was always, I think for that generation, that was admirable. Where it's like, oh, you know, was it Joey?
Joey
Fish, right? Like, he's gonna do right, you're in trouble now. Like, you know, I don't know. I think of that generation, that was like a cool thing to have. Like, oh, don't fuck with him.
Do you have that in you?
I do, but I do, but I'm trying to like get rid of it. Sure. Like, you know, there's no need for me to have that. Like, nothing.
I think that's part of it too. Is there is just less of a need.
Yeah.
Like we settle things different than we used to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that causes way more destruction than anything.
Yeah.
Like, so if that switch get flicked, that's like, it's a lot of cleanup. Like, you know,
Definitely.
There's a cool saying, I don't know the exact origin of it. I heard it was Disney and then I tried to look it up, but it was like, doesn't seem to be, but it's like, oh God. Wow. Good interview, Rob. Fuck it.
There's a quote.
Hey, yeah, we're just gonna insert a quote. It was just Walt Disney says something about imagination, and then we'll just move on.
Can you like move my mouth with that? Like use AI. No, it's like basically like a 1 to 100 versus like creation versus destruction. So it's like 100 times easier to destroy something than it is to create something.
Yeah, for sure.
Wait, or it's like takes 100 times the effort to create something than it does to destroy it.
Sure.
So it's like at the blink of an eye, you can destroy something so easily, right? Same thing as car accidents, but like, you know, in your everyday life as well, like one comment, one thing can break a relationship, you know? And I think with kids as well, it can kind of be that same thing, is like one big thing that's baked into their memory. That's kind of scary.
We're always holding on to the trauma more than we are to like even the best of times, right? You'll always click back to trauma first and foremost.
It's how we're wired. Like you need to know, the good stuff is great. The good stuff makes you feel nice. But if you don't know if you don't remember that bush, like
if there's
those berries killed your grandpa, like you know that we're wired to remember the bad stuff.
Yeah.
So 4th birthday party. Now we're in Russell.
Yes, let's dig in.
Let's call him Russell, not Rusty. But like, there was this thing of like, I don't know. I think I'd already won like one of the challenges. At least that's where it lives in my memory. And we were playing basketball, and I shot it, and it was about to go in. It was also my birthday, and I shot it perfect, little like, and it came out of the hand beautifully. And my dad just grabs the ball just before it goes in, and like pulled it away, and I was like, "Oh, it's gonna win!" And he's like, "Nope, you gotta give other people a go or something." I don't know. And like and I ran to my room, and I was like screaming, crying, like, "No!" But I don't know why. Why does that live in my memory? It's also like, I'm okay with this, by the way, but like, and other people are like, "That's your bad memory of your dad." Whoa,
It's pretty good bad memory.
Goaltending.
He said, "No, this is international rules. This is FIBA." Was that at your house?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at your home, he
Yeah.
goaltended your basketball shot
It was his
your
home.
Well,
Oh, sure.
My house, right? Back in those days.
Yeah.
It was my house, right? You were just living under it.
Do you, have you ever done anything like that with Seth though? And now you see that and you are triggering the 4th birthday response?
So Seth is 2, so we got time. Like, he's in a hitting stage right now, and I'm like, there's like, you know, it's such a hard challenge. If there's any advice, let me know in the comments, because I'm here for it. Yeah, like he's really hitting, and I don't know. It's like, I try and, you know, I've tried a couple of different things, like joking with him, like, "Hey, we don't hit. Like, you want to." You want to go, like, and I'll like, you know, play fight with him, and then like there's other times where he's like really hitting, and you're like, you know, do you do the eye for an eye? Like, don't hit. Feel how that feels.
Yeah.
And then like,
Yeah.
you know, I haven't like, even that was way harder than I've even tested that.
Yeah.
I'm well aware that
We
I'm
clocked
like,
that, by the way. We clocked that leg tap that you just did.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like that thing of like, you know, because I was smacked as a kid, and like again, there's so much information out there. Like, do you smack your kids?
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe a guy to guy type thing as well. And then also, you're like, like, what do you do when that happens? Because
Right.
again, like, I mean, kind of, wow, this timeline's real messed up. But like my dad and my brother had that more so than whatever. Like I feel like there was a couple times where I really kind of like puffed up my chest at my dad, and he just he didn't go for it. It was like, cute. Yeah, nice one, 5'11", 3/4. And so like, but my brother and my dad like got physical a couple of times. Like, you know, fair few times where like dad was like, you want to go there? We'll go.
Yeah. Gonna put you in.
I'm sorry, your
No,
dad's like, what's he doing? That's not the fake.
That's a combination
It's
of
making
y'all's
me
two
wonder
fathers.
what I did. If I'm being honest, I'm gonna watch the tape afterwards. And be like,
You did it.
Oh,
You did
Jesus.
it. Yeah, we should compare them. Like in the.
Your dad's a pod watcher too, so he'll know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not sure if he is.
And that's
We'll
fine.
know.
My mom is. And my mom.
She'll relay.
She's
Joey, let us know in the comments
she's
if you're
ema-
watching.
My mom's emailing every week. It's
Really?
really sweet. She sent us so many ideas, and I keep not responding to them. And then she'll check in. She's like, "What did I go too far?" And I'm like, "No, I just haven't. I've got a lot of emails." Robbie, I want to know when you and Jess decided to have kids. Were you thinking about your experience with your dad or the relationship that you had? Did it inform either if you wanted to have kids or how you wanted to have kids? Like,
I think the hardest thing, especially with the relationship that I have now with my dad, I was like that, like, oh man, how do we do it that well? Like that was kind of that intimidation factor. Like, right, I'm never gonna be as tall as him. Can I be, you know, as good a dad as he's been to me? So that was more, you know, I think that's a great thing to have. He's also sort of annoying with advice at times. Not that I can't rely on him for parenting advice, but like he's very vague with advice. He's always been that way. He's kind of like, he'll guide you but not advise you at times.
can you give us an example?
Speaks in parables,
li-
riddles.
I'm trying to think of an example. Like,
I'll give you an issue. You give me the kind of advice he would give back. We're just having such a hard time potty training Seth. He just won't take to the toilet.
you know, it gets hard. So I can't. Wow. Like talking my dad's amazing.
A 2-word
Shit's
answer.
tough.
Good luck. My dad worked so much when we were kids. Like they very much like, I mean, my mom worked as well, but like my dad had a business in which like up until I don't know how old, like he's kind of very absent in my mind. Not to say that he was an absent father, but he was just like, he was working. Like he was gone before we were up, and he would get home. Like when we were younger, he used to be like, he'd make it home for dinner. The older we got, the less he was kind of there for dinner. Like he just was.
What did he
was
do?
hustling.
What was
So
his
he
profession?
ran. He had a company called Home Express, which was a kind of like home goods Manchester, like bed linen, towels, and a bunch of different things. So he had that. That was kind of his background, and you know, so buying and selling and all that sort of stuff. And then yeah, look, and that was cool because I worked as well. Like I used to go to work with him. Like one of my things, probably why I'm in the entertainment industry, was like, we used to have this back end bus tour thing. A bus full of ladies mostly would go and do like the kind of like before the stock hit the stores, we would give like big discounts. So you'd be able to come to the actual warehouse and buy kind of straight from the warehouse.
Yeah,
So
like
you-
wholesale.
Yeah. But there was like buses of late. They used to run tours. And so like at age, like however old, I was young, like maybe 4. Yeah, well, I don't think I was at school yet. And I would stand up in front of a full room of like 40 people and be like, "Hi everybody, welcome to Home Express. We've got a great lot of great specials for you today. Our microfiber pillows are walking out the door." And I would have like this thing, and I would like prep it because there was another bus, and I'd be like, "Oh man, like I wasn't happy, like this didn't." And so,
Wow.
I had a microphone and everything, like
You're a town crier.
Yeah.
You were on the corner.
because they'd like come into this little room and we'd spruik our specials, and then they'd go into like the thing. I'd be like, "They're found at like this spot," and like my dad, would help me with that. So
With your script. That's so
but
funny.
we were there for like 12 plus hours. I used to
gosh.
sleep on the pillows like midday, like just go take a nap.
The pillow's for sale, the kid's not.
The kid child's not
safe.
safe. So taking that always working mentality,
Yeah.
you are a very hard worker, but have you taken that idea that, oh, this wasn't a very positive thing that I experienced with my dad and brought it into raising Seth? Do you find yourself trying to temper the amount of work that you take on, or what does that feel like?
No.
Because there also is the pressure to make money. I mean, yeah, you're a provider.
You know, and Jess and I have taken a certain amount of risk in our own life, in our own careers, in which like, you know, it's been because we're business owners. I was saying we run a performing arts school. And like that's been our baby. Like we've put so much time and effort into that thing and money. Like, you know, the amount of money to just research and development, you know, we bootstrapped it and, you know, really have built it from the ground. But like that still thing that's it's not profitable. Like, you know, it's a passion project in which we're like, you know, so to take on additional work, it's like I'm always trying to go and provide. Like I think what we do is very beneficial. So like there is days that I'm gone.
Yeah.
And then like, cause I'm about to go on a trip for 10 days, in which I'm out of the country. That stuff's real hard. That stuff's really hard. And I'm like, those decisions are really hard to make.
Yeah.
But I'm so fortunate with other things. So like sometimes I'm coaching online. Sometimes I'm, you know, editing I love at the moment because you're supposed to get up. Like, and so I use that as a big advantage as like I'm working and then I'll work for a period of time and I kind of chunk it. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to take, and I always take him to the park. So I'm like very able to be present. There's like a couple of photos I have where like sometimes he'll be like watching a show and like just come sit on me. And like he's just bear hugging me, watching his show over my shoulder while I'm editing.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've been very present in his life. Like I've had such an advantage to not have that traditional 9 to 5. You know, even when I'm setting up cameras, he's almost at the age now where he's like, you were around the other day.
I was. It was amazing.
Yeah, so Steven handed him his like newer camera and Seth almost dropped it straight away.
What are you doing, dude?
But,
That's on
like-
you, bro.
It's fine.
Yeah.
You set up a full-on light stand
Like
the other day.
those little things, like setting up for a shoot, you know, he can be involved in. Like I saw something the other day of a guy like taking his son on set to shoot the behind the scenes. I was like, I love
That's
that.
cool.
When we were back in Australia, I was working with a company. Jess's mum's a big actor back home. Paula, so Jess's mum and dad, were both big time actors sort of through the 70s and 80s.
That's great.
But yeah, so I was doing a commercial with Paula. We'd sorted it out so that I could direct some spots while I was there, which was great. And then I said to this company, I was like, hey, look, I remembered this commercial from years ago. This could really tie into your... And so I pitched this idea. They went for it. But I wrote it based off like somewhat of the truth about like Paula, Jess, and Seth. And so I wrote this like little coming home type thing to help like pull her with her recovery on her wrist for this, you know, assisted home living company called Trilogy. I wrote that in, I pitched it, and they got it. And then I got to work with like my whole family on
my
set.
God.
Great.
So like, you know,
Wait, Seth was in that spot?
yeah. And he did. Look, on the day, I was like, oh man, would I work with this kid again?
I've got notes.
The whole thing of this is like I've integrated and looking for ways to integrate him in as much of what I'm doing as I can.
Yeah.
You know, someone asked me the question like, what are kind of the areas that you can really kind of give him an unfair advantage in? And I was like, for so long, I was like, oh God. I don't know any American sports. Like, I don't even know the full rules to baseball. Or I was like,
Nobody does.
Man.
Yeah.
Like, so, and then like, I was like, oh, wait, film. Like, we're in the epicenter of film and television.
Yes, you work in this.
Yeah. And so like few people are like, will he be an actor or whatever? And I'm like, if he wants to be, I'm going to put him in a ton of things. Like, I'm going to give him like a cool reel. If he like hits that, I think most kids do around like 6, it's not fun. Like, it's like, let's repeat that again.
Yeah.
Let's repeat that again. Like,
Yeah.
do it again. Hit the same spot. Like, then go away and sit down. Like, go, you know what I mean? Like, it's not actually that fun for kids to act. So
Yeah.
he might hit that point where he's like, I don't want to do it anymore. And at which point I'm like, totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, unless like the investment is there for him, and I'm like, look, dude, we can use this, and this could lead to this, and like I think perspective's always like really interesting. There's a couple like things I've looked at about like exchanging like chores for money and like actually like looking at incentivizing it, because I think as well, like if for something like acting you're like, dude, you could do this like little commercial if you want to, and that's like doing the dishes 1,000 times, like you're gonna earn
Pretty good dishes, right?
yeah. I mean, yeah, right. Actually, 10,000 times. But like, like that.
Yeah.
Then that way, because that's what I like when I used to work. I used to earn like $5 a day in a Mars bar when I was back spruiking for my dad. And I had to convince him the Mars bar.
Yeah.
But like, then that way, when you're buying something, you're like, oh man, I worked a 12-hour day for that $5 note. Like, do I need that thing?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think I answered your question.
Not having family close at all. Like, can you speak more on just how that has been for you and for Jess? The trials that you've run into, maybe the freedom that it's brought, or maybe like the unexpected positives that it's brought, like not having that core, that support here.
At one point, I remember, so when Seth was born, we kind of had a crossover of the grandmas. So Jess's mum was here just in that like final week. She was here during the delivery, which was fantastic. Jess had a C-section. It was a planned C-section, so we knew what time, day, we knew what was going on.
It's nice.
Which is very handy.
Yeah.
So we had Grandma, Nanny Paulie, and then Nanny Annie was coming in a couple of days after and kind of doing this crossover. So that was, oh my God, that was fantastic. It came with its own challenges. So like, I think it was night 2 in which I literally just kind of had to like, because you're not sleeping. She's not sleeping. Her anxiety's going through the roof because it's just baby crying. And we're like, somewhat not arguing, but you know what I mean. You're like, just like, what are
exhausted.
we? Yeah, you're tired. And night 1 was hard. Night 1 was real hard. We got the worst advice just as we were leaving, which I heard in one of your other episodes, which was like, you can't overfeed your infant. Like, just let him go. One of the nurses just before we left was like, he threw up, and we're like, oh, is he? And she's like, oh, but you overfed him. And we were like, oh. And so like night 1, we kind of like underfed him because, yeah. And we're like, well, he just ate. Like, we don't want him to throw up. And so he was up like almost all night. And I was like, oh God. And then our pediatrician, just listen, just like get that one voice in which you're like, okay, great. And then you decide between you whether you're going to fully take that advice or just kind of, you know what I mean, flirt with it. Back to the A story. Paula comes kind of trying to help. She's at the door. Mother and daughters have their own relationship. They had like an argument, and I was like, oh man. So the next morning I was like, I was like, guys, we got to chat. In which like, and I just said to my mother-in-law, I was like, you're going home. I said, if you were going to be here with us all the time, you could probably have more input. But right now, we got to figure this out for us. And like, I think as well, like before actually doing the thing and being in the arena, like I was like, how do you, people are like, oh, you figure it out. I was like, I'm not normally good at figuring things out. Like I watch YouTube tutorials for that. And I watched a lot of YouTube tutorials. Yeah. And so it was that thing of like, we're figuring this out. And you have your pediatrician and she's offering advice. And then you just kind of like, you do trust your gut a little bit. It is weird. Like you're like, oh, when like you have someone come in to like watch or help with your baby and you're like, oh, he likes this and he likes it, or like just tip the bottle a little bit more, like you're like, oh my God, I didn't even know how much I knew. And there's so much information that you kind of just start doing, not naturally, because I think what you're doing here is fantastic. Like, but it does kind of just start to integrate its way into your life, into your choices, into what you're doing, into your relationship with your baby.
We had a commenter the other day that was talking about the best piece of advice from her is to just throw advice out the window, because you're going to learn your child, your unique individual, better than anybody will ever be able to tell you, hey, this is how I did it. This is what works, whatever that may be. Yeah, I bet you picked up in the first 48 hours more than anybody would ever be able to tell you.
Massively. And it really does come from relationship with you, your partner, your baby, and your pediatrician. Like those relationships are so important. And then you kind of like, because it can get kind of noisy, right? Like with so much advice, but then you're like, all right, well, what feels right? Okay, let me trust my gut in this scenario. And sometimes you're wrong, and like a couple of times, like I've I think that's like something really helpful for you and you and Molly is like, let me be wrong with this. Like, again, not like life big decisions, but it's like, I think like, let me just try this. Like, let me kind of like, I think I got this, right? And it's like, and then sometimes, I'm gone for, even if I'm gone for a day or something, Jess is like, oh, he likes this, or, we change this or this, because things just change so fast. Like, unless you're there 20, like, those things are really like, and, if you do have to take work that takes you away for a bit, in which when you come back, you're like, oh man, it's going to be a couple new rules. Like that sort of stuff is something that, it changes so fast. Like, and it's just a thing like, oh, he doesn't like that today. Oh, okay. All right. We'll tip the bottle this way. Or like, I'm trying to think of actual clear, tangible takeaways, but like,
that's good to hear, though. There's that the communication is so important between you and your partner, or even you and your nanny or whatever it might be.
And the baby, they tell you so much, like without telling you so much. So yeah, that was like night one. Sorry, going back to the like question, that was a big thing. And same thing. Then my mum was there. Like luckily, Paula came, and then my mum. There was like a 1 day crossover or something like that. And same thing, I just said to mum, I was like, let us just do the baby stuff as much as possible. Like, because she was like, how can I be helpful? And that's like, that is kind of your job. It's like, and I've heard it a few times on the pod already, which is like, just if you can like do the dishes and like, food's a big one. Food's obviously a big one for a baby, but food for you, like, getting something delivered or like, having something cooked for you. So you just don't have to do that thing.
Have you ever heard of Food Train?
Yeah, I think someone
Meal Train.
Meal Train.
Meal
I'm sorry,
Train. Meal
Train.
Train. Yeah. I was
Food trains.
Food bucket, use slop bowl.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was, but I was like, like a bunch of your friends are picking up dinner for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like that's amazing.
That was like fantastic, and then they're gone, right?
Yeah.
And that's really difficult. The other advantage of like, I feel like everyone talks about the negatives, like, oh, lack of sleep and all this sort of stuff. They also don't do a lot. Like the first, like that was one thing, like the first like 6 months, I was like, I got a little bit more time than I think I do. Like, do you know what I mean? Everyone's like, oh, the baby's your whole life's gonna change.
Yeah.
It does, but slowly. Like it's not just like a light bulb. Like they sleep, 18 hours in a 24-hour cycle?
You're like cats. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you get them up and you're like, oh man, I'm really, they're going to sleep again. Okay. All right, great. Like, I got some time.
Is it the unpredictability that makes it challenging?
I think so.
Just that it's not on your normal schedule, your adult man, 5'11" and 7/8.
7/8.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got taller.
You're welcome.
And yet it feels shorter.
Yeah.
To be so
a little
close
disparaging.
and still not there.
Yeah.
Have you like made a community out here of like friends that have kids?
I feel like there's been times that just people have just been rock stars. Like we just lost one of our rock stars. They've moved to Tampa.
I thought
Thank God.
I thought they had passed.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
That's a good little
Lost them to
soundbite.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, they just moved, but like they were dear friends of mine. I actually went to acting school with him originally back in Australia. he moved out here. He met a beautiful woman, got married, and like Caitlin, they were in the same. We helped them move into our apartment block, like when they were first getting out here, and so they were, just literally down in the same apartment building us.
Yeah.
And so like Caitlin specifically, Cyril was working a ton. But like she would just come up, like Jess could then go to the gym, like over I don't know, like the last even year, she's just been like, can I come up and help? And we're like, please,
Yeah.
like, please come up and help. And so she was just absolutely amazing. Like, we've had, other friends, like a friend of ours, Alice, who was just like one night, who kind of was like, I got tickets to Chicago. I'm coming over to babysit. You guys go out. And we're like, are you fucking kidding me?
Wow.
Like, this is amazing. Like, little things. A friend of ours, Tash, like I think I was telling you, like before, even pre-baby was just like, do this. This is useless. Don't do this. Like, take this. And like, gave us a crib and like a bunch of different things. So there has kind of been like, times that people have kind of really come in when they can, right? Because it's like, you got your own stuff going on as well. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I don't hang out with people. Like even pre-baby, like hangouts weren't like a real regular thing. I was working my butt off.
Yeah.
I hang out with a lot of people,
Do
but
you?
it's not. I'm not
Jake's got
trying
a
to
lot
brag.
of free time.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of free time.
Well, when you say it like that, it just.
Okay, just talk to me about it just a little bit.
No, my free time
What
is
does that
editing
feel
this
like?
podcast.
Yes. Yeah. Jake deserves an award for that. Absolutely. Yeah, that's what I hear from everybody that has come through. I think that's been a very consistent thought, is that you will be surprised. And we heard this about weddings too, but you'll be very surprised at how down people in your life are to just lend a hand.
Yeah.
They're so receptive to that, and they'll reach out to you, and I feel like that is an underlooked quality in just like community in general, how willing they are to help out with kids.
Yeah, and then on the other side, like again, love. I'm like, I'm gonna be positive. Now, like the flip side, it doesn't. Sometimes people just don't care. Like little things, like we've had, it does. It changes your life, like for better and for worse. Like, again, mostly for better. To be truly honest, like some people, like you're just like, dude, I just had a kid. Like I can't. Like I'm trying.
Is the context in that like
It can be
work
work.
Yes,
it can
work.
be friends. It can be like social things and like.
Dude, if somebody in your life who is a friend of yours is not understanding that is the biggest thing that will ever happen to you, why are they a friend to you at all? What?
Bro, turn up.
And some
Come
people,
on.
Yeah, bro, it is my 32nd birthday, okay? If you
We're
don't
going to Zebulon, will you be there?
crawl or not, bitch, get out here with us.
dude, I mean, like
wild.
it is kind of that. Like, and
Yeah.
it's just like it's not a big things, but it's just like people. It's a frustrating thing of like a couple of times I was like, I just had it. Like I'm so like.
I'm so tired.
Please, just a bit of compassion, a bit of empathy, like and some people don't like kids. Like I feel like there's a couple of people that just kind of like drifted out of our lives, like without even realizing.
Yeah.
I mean, like I realized, but
Can you think of like a
friend, no, call him out.
One single friend
name
right now.
names, Robbie. Speak with your chest. No, what's something that you've felt maybe within the last 6 months or so where you've been like, God, it'd be really nice to have family right now?
We were just back in Australia, so I hadn't been. My green card got kind of screwed up when we got married. It's a long story. They thought I was a mercenary, which is like either dealing people or drugs or. Dude, it's a whole story.
They do not hire 5'11" people to be
No.
mercenaries for anything, brother.
And like, I mean,
You're
look
also the
look at me.
You're the
Like,
sweetest
I'm
person
like-
I know.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, it's true. And they slice you.
Unassuming.
It's a scene from a movie where the guy was literally telling me, he was like telling me I need to pursue acting, and then at the same time going like, "Do you deal drugs? Like, you ever dealt drugs? You've ever been a prostitute? You ever been a pimp?" And then would go back to telling me how I need to act. And then like played this whole cover band of this Fleetwood Mac, and he's like, they're better than Fleetwood Mac.
What?
And then like press play, and we sat there, and he's like, I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm the fraud guy. Like I catch more fraud. So it was like a semi-threat at the same time. And he's like, then shows me this YouTube, and we like sat in silence and listened to like this 3-minute Fleetwood Mac cover band. And I was like, what is going on?
What is going
Yeah.
on? What are you talking about?
Those
weirdest
are our
thing.
tax dollars are paying for this man to play you Fleetwood Mac cover bands.
Well, he's caught a lot of fraud. So
Well,
he's
okay, I guess he's earned
the
it.
biggest
given that
fraud?
leeway.
His Fleetwood Mac cover band. Stop playing.
Yeah, if you can tell the difference between Mick Fleetwood and this guitarist, then
Well, you can
you're American.
Yeah. Anyway, so back to the story. Back to the question.
Yeah.
We were home because I was back in Melbourne for the first time in 5 years. I hadn't been since 2021 when I left. Like had to run away from COVID at like second round of COVID, had to flee to New South Wales border just to get there in time so I could catch my flight to Los Angeles and go start my life and get married and do that. So, but yeah, so we were back home and like it was so easy. Like I've got 3 nieces, they are obsessed with Seth. Like they just took him. Like one of my nieces was like, can I come around just like hang? I was like, please. And like my mom was just, God, she made it hard to leave. My son, he'd wake up in the morning, he'd go, nanny, Annie, Annie, nanny, Annie, and like call for her. And then she'd like waddle out.
Nanny Annie.
Not waddle out, she would strut out.
Oh no!
Cut
that for Annie. Cut that for Annie.
Cut that. She would strut out in her dressing gown, and then they would just play all day. Like, again, I would just like kind of come back in, check in, how's everything going? Have like my little dad time for like a couple of minutes, then go back to work because we were juggling work at the same time.
Yeah.
And so like, just, yeah, and it was just so easy.
How long was it
God.
before you, because you have a nanny now, right? You have somebody who comes over and helps out? No?
We have nannies, like
Friends and things?
Yeah, so a friend of ours / student of ours has been like, also Kayla's been a rock star
Yeah.
like lately. She actually came up. 2 of our students that we're producing some content with is a film called Operation Cold Pizza. Here's your sponsor of your show. But we're at Sundance. They came up to Sundance with us, and they were like managing baby with us. It was kind of like the deal that we kind of came up with them. So we were talking about this project that we got that we were working on. We bought on it. We found a fantastic producer out there, and we like ticked that box of what we were kind of going there for. And they were like co-nannying and helping out, and they've just bonded with Seth so much. And so then Kayla was also on her way back to Canada because she's from Perth, Australia. So she's like anyway, so she was living with us for a bit. She was like an at-home, like what are they called when
An au pair.
Yeah, an au pair, yeah.
like she just been
you're so
and so like yeah.
Jeez.
Dude, when you have a kid, you're gonna be like so ready. You should
This
just
is honestly-
have one now. Like, you just
Yeah.
go make one.
Do you think I could have a kid sooner than you?
Race ya?
Biologically, no.
Well,
But
wait. When is
June.
actually? Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay. No, not healthy.
Right.
Yeah,
We
that's
don't
true.
actually want to be rooting for
Yeah.
that. This is not a competition we want to be starting.
No.
please don't.
But yeah, that's very premature, baby. For a premature man. No, I'm sorry. We
No,
were
that's
just
true.
met.
That's true. It's true. You were saying before we started that someone was like, "Hey, nice beard," because you let it grow out. You know who's ever said that to me? No one. No one's ever said those words to me.
Yeah. And that's how
Good
everyone
facial hair.
everyone knows you're so much younger than Steven. That's how we know.
yeah, it shows up on the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So having family has been really challenging, and then again it's strengthened our, like, on the positive side.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I don't like love obligation language, but like I've had to be a better dad. Like, I've had to be more available for him, and so yeah, there's a lot more things that I've gotten to do with him that I probably would have just like been like, oh well, mom, do it, like, or nanny, can you do this, or can you do this?
Yeah.
Or, so I feel like I've been, I haven't missed an experience. Like I'm trying to think of like one where I was like, oh man, I miss that. been really fortunate. I've been there for like first rollover, first stand up, first, like, you know, and obviously there with camera, like ready to rock.
That's our job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so important. You know, I've archived all of that.
Yeah.
I got it backed up on a hard
some
drive
drives.
as well as cloud space, just in case. Like, we're good. We're sealed. But yeah, so family is really difficult to not have and to have, because then again, there is like other habits that they can get into, you know, and you're like, hey, like that's not the like language that we want to be using.
Yeah.
You know,
Gosh, that's got to be so hard.
yeah.
Because you're kind of like, you, whatever decisions you make, unless there's really healthy, clear communication that like, what I'm doing is not a reflection of how I feel about you. What I choose to do differently is not a reflection of it's not a judgment of your parenting, but I am going to do things differently. I feel like that's got to be so hard.
I think it's harder with in-law. Like for me, it's always
Right.
harder to then help address that with Jess's parents.
Yeah.
You almost can't. There's like 2 lines of separation.
I am very blessed to be very close to my in-laws.
That's
Like,
nice.
we do have, I don't think, uncomfortable, yes, but nowhere near impossible. Like they're both very open people. Paula, you know, I've lived with Paula for periods of time.
Yeah.
So like we're really close. We're good friends. But like again, we also like she's such a incredible lady in which like she's always open to learning. Like, you know, at her age, she's still like, okay, and she'll go off and like sometimes you're like, oh, that didn't go well. And then she'll come back the next day and be like, you know, I thought about it and okay.
Yeah.
Right. And so like that is handy. But like just little things. Exactly. Like, but that can again, when you're in this cocoon of like, it's me and Jess, we have that consistency.
Yeah.
Like there really is things that like, you know, for better or worse, you're like, well, that's our fault. Right. And you can really be like, all right, well, how do we fix this? Or like, and then there's, so that's the advantage of that. They're not picking up, you know, he's not spending time ton of time away from us in which he's picking up potentially habits that we're like,
You're having to correct at that point.
Yeah.
It sounds like there's perks to both sides of it then. It's like, yes, logistically maybe super helpful to have family close to you, but then ideologically, I guess, maybe harder.
Yeah.
You know, that's something I hadn't considered, quite frankly. And I was talking with my mom the other day and she said something similar. She was like, I raised you 36 years ago now. So much has changed.
That's
so how
an
can
important thing.
Yeah. How can I even like give you adequate advice?
Jeez, yeah.
Every kid is different.
Yeah.
Every
That's the
kid
thing,
is
too.
different.
You
Like
said
that's
it earlier.
That's where I don't think you can give like there are some people that give out parenting advice that they're like, well, I've had 3. And you're like, yeah, but I guarantee you, like if you had a 4th, you'd be like, oh man, didn't experience this in the first 3. Little things, like I was saying earlier, like Seth being my son, like he didn't want to be swaddled, right? You had the swaddled thing. I was like, was probably cutting off circulation because I was like, you will be swaddled. I will do this right. Like, and like his just little arms would come out. But again, like those little sacks for him were
Sleep sacks.
oh my God,
Yeah.
so handy. So that was one example. Seth hated tummy time, just wouldn't do it, would not do it. Like scream, we'd throw him on his tummy. Like didn't roll over. And we're like, oh man.
So what are you gonna do, right?
Yeah.
And
I mean, you keep encouraging it and you
Yeah.
do as much. Again, like, dude, this is one of those things. Like, that was an embarrassing thing for me. Like, tummy time was like something where I was like, oh man, someone should have told me about this earlier. Like, oh, because it was like, oh, you should be doing it now. What?
But nobody tells you like really the amount of time and the amount of time that's correct for your child's skull.
Yeah.
It's like nobody.
I think what it sounds like too is that what gets lost in the sauce or what gets conflated is advice on the what versus advice on the how. The what feels like the non-negotiables that can be like, regardless if your mom raised you 36 years ago or today, some of the whats are like, at this point in time, developmentally, they should be doing this. At this point in time, you got to start removing this. But then the how, that's where the people start to project their own things that this really worked for me, so it'll work for you. like how we encourage this or taught this or introduced this. And
But even the what changes so much, because I saw this funny picture the other day. It was this woman who was born in the 80s, and she was like, this is me sleeping in my crib in 1984 with 19 stuffed animals surrounding me. And she was like, yep. And my parents said, that's right. Good night. Good luck. Because now you're not supposed to have anything in the crib at all.
Up until a
It
certain
is.
age.
Yeah, for the first 6 months,
I think 6
something
because
like
of
that.
like
Please don't
suffocation.
quote
SIDS,
or-
yeah, because you will suffocate on a stuffy.
I mean, we spoke about this another time, and this is like the snoo. Like
Yeah.
for me, SIDS, one of those things.
Terrifying.
Like I didn't read a book. Like I also didn't do a podcast.
You are really behind, my friend.
Where is Seth right now? Do you know where?
Oh, fuck. He's here. He's
He was in the car seat.
It's not hot today. You're fine. It's okay.
I feel like I've done that my whole life. I'm like, whoa, no, why am I just why didn't anyone like scream this at me? Like to be like, this is real important.
Yeah.
In which like SIDS, I was like, what? What do you mean? Sudden, like
They can
that's
just pass away.
horrible. Like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me? Like, and then someone's like, yeah. Oh, well, this person lost their kid. Does it? I was like, what the fuck? Like, no. And
Yeah.
like, you know, and so the snoo, we bought our secondhand, brand new. They're just crazy expensive.
We just
but
lost the sponsorship.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
they're gone now. Not sending me anything anymore.
good price.
For what you get, Snoo, for what you get.
You sold that, Robbie.
Yeah.
That was good. That was a very good price.
They're back on the phone.
This is why I
They're
get
on right
so
now.
many. This is why I get so many commercial auditions.
I don't really like McDonald's French fries, if I'm honest with you.
The snoo was a big thing because they got the little harness. You zip them up, you zip them in, and you genuinely are like, my baby, because not only stuffed animals, but they can roll over and just like suffocate themselves. That's why certain mattresses as well, like the mattress that we got is like, it almost looks like a bird's nest if you take, that's his like toddler one now.
Yeah.
You like take the mattress off and it's like, you can like breathe
Breathe
through it.
through it.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So like those things really diminish the chances of SIDS. But the snoop for me, like again, we had it bedside, like, and yeah, just the fact that it would rock him. Yes, that was handy. But for me, it was that like fact that I knew he was locked in.
Yeah.
He was
Peace of
going
mind.
nowhere. He could not roll over. I'm a deep sleeper. But like, so again, there's not many things that I would highly recommend, but like that for me, that peace of mind, just to be able to actually be like, okay, when I am going to sleep, I can sleep somewhat deeper and more soundly, knowing that my son's not going to die.
Yeah.
It's fascinating hearing you describe, like, because we were talking about the what and the how, and how some advice transcends time and is applicable to everybody, and sometimes it's really like case by case. And you're making the case for like the snoo being like, it kind of doesn't matter on the which kid it is. Like, it is something that can just be like a major intervention in preventing this thing. So our activity today is a segment that we'd like to call Dad versus AI. So you get advice from friends, you get advice from parents. We're going to get some advice from AI, and we want you to tell us if it's good advice. All right? Because we know that AI is a tool that we can't avoid, and it's only getting better and smarter and more accessible. And we're here to make a case on whether or not you can parent with just AI alone.
Because I guarantee some people are.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
This what is this called? This is a
Segment?
Yep, thank you.
Yep.
This segment is either sponsored by or oh shit, my brain's off today. We're just gonna move. I was just trying to make a joke and it didn't work. Okay, so
Please keep that in. That's better than whatever joke you could have made. That was better. Just watching you panic.
Okay, so I'm gonna sift through. I asked Claude to give me 10 like of the top questions that dads have regarding parenthood, and then like 2-sentence brief pieces of advice.
Nice.
So yeah, tear it apart.
All right. And
Or-
Steven's going to say, I agree, disagree.
Sure.
Or-
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You say, you tell us if it's good advice, and then Robbie
And then you'll tear me apart. Yeah.
Maybe.
Great.
Maybe.
Big question number 2.
Did
Is
we
it
miss
normal?
one?
Yeah, I didn't like one.
Okay.
Is it normal that I don't feel an instant connection? Is the question. Claude says it's completely normal. For many dads, the bond builds gradually over weeks as the baby starts reacting to you. So just keep showing up.
First of all, I think it's so funny that you decided to skip one because I feel like that's the common dad response is just like, nah, fuck it. I don't think one was that important. I agree. I agree with AI. I think that people feel connection in many different ways and on a spectrum. And for a lot of people, it probably doesn't happen right away. And it's going to happen differently for Molly than it is for me. And so, yeah, I think in the beginning, the choice to continue to show up is probably just as important as the instant spark of the love of fatherhood.
Damn. Yeah. I hope that AI isn't this good on all of its answers.
This is gonna be a boring segment.
But also maybe
Yeah.
comforting a little bit.
Yeah.
And your beautiful AI voice. I really
Thank you
like
so
that. It
much.
was like a nice AI radio person voice. That was lovely. Yeah, I completely agree. To be honest, because like postpartum depression's talked about a lot, but not necessarily from like, I don't even, I'm sure there's a name for it, like where a dad doesn't feel connection, but that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Right? Like, again, Freudian type thing of like, is this thing going to take my wife or like get challenged? I think that happens later in life, but
Yeah.
like, yeah, do I get that like instant spark or like am I not going to be connected to this thing? Like is it going to ruin my life? I'm deliberately using like these words, but
Yeah.
like that's terrifying. So I think looking for, because it can be like minor things that deepen even your connection. Like you're like, oh my god, I love this thing so much, and then like there's little things where you're like, oh my god, I did like tiny things, like the first time they grip your hand or anything like that, and you're just like, shit. It's like
Okay.
we're going deeper, are we? All right. I thought we hit maximum.
Yeah.
But like, there will be a moment where you feel that connection. Connection is about showing up, being vulnerable, and being open to it for when it could happen, and it may happen at different times for dad. So well done, Claude, on that round.
Heard.
Thanks, Stephen.
I'm skipping number 3 because Madison answered that one.
Oh,
so
thanks,
it's going
Madison.
to be redundant.
What episode was that?
That was our doula
Yeah,
episode.
episode
Oh,
2.
okay.
The
Go
question
back to
was,
episode 2.
how do we survive on no sleep? Claude says sleep in shifts rather than both waking and feeding at the same time. Expect that and then accept that you'll be functioning at 70% for a while.
I don't know. I don't know how I felt about the sleep and shifts thing even, but it's okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I had heard
We're not skipping
on
to.
Instagram that basically if your wife is waking to feed, you should also, for commiseration's sake, wake to feed. I think that like deepens your bond with her. Maybe it's, kind of one of the only times I feel like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it might feel like you're sort of two ships passing in the night a lot of the time, an early postpartum period. And I think just like any chance you can to wake up and sort of just like share in the burden, as it were, might be helpful. Now, granted, I think we're probably both going to be exhausted, and she'll probably be like, "Why did you go to sleep?" In which case, I will say,
Yeah.
thank you, and
That's-
I will.
Yes, and navigate it as it comes. Like I agree. Like there is times where fuck you for sleeping, and you know what I mean,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Screw, like why do and then there's times where it's like sleep.
Yeah.
Like you have to navigate that it's like a day by day thing, which is the beauty of beauty of kids is like it really does bring you into a day by day thing. Like take it as it comes, use your best judgment as well, because communication isn't always there and there's not always time for that sort of stuff. But I generally like try and do it before. So like, if it's easier said that, but you're like, okay, I'm going to go back to sleep. That was last night. And I was like, no, I went like, well, and you're like, oh man, okay. All right. And so like try to fight the urge to argue at that moment, and then the next day you go, hey, so this thing happened last night, like how do we want to navigate that tonight? So it's like, I mean, Jess and I literally still do this to this day, where it's like, who's getting up in the morning? Because sometimes it's like get up and like, you know, and you're like, what, it was your turn, like what and then we argue before we're even out of bed, because it's like, you're getting up, like I did last morning, and like, you know, and it's like, and we've said that we're like, we got to do this before bed. Like, who's getting up? You know, is there like a code? Like, you know, she had a really bad night's sleep last night. I slept great. And I went to bed earlier than I had. So I was like, all right, I'm going to get up. Like, I was like, I'm good. Okay. And she was like, I had a really bad sleep. I was like, all right, I got you.
Yeah.
And so like those things of like, there can't be a hard rule.
Yeah.
And it's the rule, like it's that consistent check-in as much as possible.
The pregame planning sounds smart, huge. That's such a good idea. Where you kind of you build a game plan before you go to bed, so that there isn't you're not even having to make a decision.
Yeah,
you're just executing. You're just acting on the thing that you said you were going to do. Here, I don't disagree with what you're saying. And obviously, do whatever you want. I'm the guy who's not having a kid, but I almost likened it to, you've got a football team where you have offense and you have defense. And I don't think that, this is really going to challenge my football knowledge, because I don't know anything about any players or teams.
You really picked a good sport.
Well, it's the only one where there are two. Give me, who's a quarterback for or who's someone on the defense for the Chiefs?
Chris Jones.
Okay, so Pat Mahomes is not looking at Chris Jones on the bench while he's trying to score as the quarterback, saying, fuck you for not playing hard right now.
You saying you both have jobs, basically?
You're both playing the same game. It just, when one person is sleeping, what they're doing is building the reserves to be able to play while the other person's sleeping.
Yeah.
But again, I think it's the expectations. If you're setting...
But you're also going to be furious at the other team if they're not pulling their weight. Right, I know there are different times.
Yeah, if the defense fucking sucks.
Yeah.
When they're playing out, when they're not.
But it's a good question, Molly. Tonight we playing NFL or are we playing basketball? You want me to also run?
Oh, that's interesting.
Like, what game we on?
Are we dancing the tango tonight, or are we playing football? Yeah. Interesting. I think maybe this whole thing would just boil down to, you cannot prescribe sleep in shifts and just, like you said, be firm about that. This is how we do it. It's one night you're dancing, one night you're playing football. Yeah. You know, because yes, 100% agree with you that in order to be our best overall version of parents, you probably would benefit a lot from one of us at least being rested.
Yeah. And what do you have the next day? Like, if you're working
100%,
and you're like, do you mind, like, is it okay if I get the sleep? Like, I got a huge day tomorrow. She might say, like, the openness is, you got to be like used to it or comfortable with her saying no. I do think like that mentality of just going like, I don't know about, well, you come from a sporting background, right? You were a quarterback, right? So like that thing of like, what am I capable of? I think there is you can make all of this section of your life somewhat positive, in which you're like, can I do this? Like, whoa, how little sleep can I operate off? Like, you know, as a like, but military do it, right? Like, they're like, let's see how much we can torture. You know, sleep deprivation is one of the key things that they test you in like, you know, in the military. Yeah. It's like, can I do this? What am I capable? What is the human capable of? How little sleep can I go off? Like, again, obviously don't do it deliberately. Yeah. But at the same time, there's something kind of potentially exciting about that as well.
We should write AI articles or something about babies. And
I think we should write human written articles about babies.
We should do a podcast, an AI podcast about babies.
All right. I'm so glad we didn't skip over that one.
Yeah,
look at me making a producerial mistake there, because that was really good.
Yeah, I'm knocking down your pay for next shoot. You only get the regular size Mars bar.
Damn it.
Not the king size.
Costing him money to come here. He's literally paying to be here.
I said no to work for this. That's not true. No one's asking me to work.
Very, very free. Very open schedule.
Let's go with one more.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do I bond with the baby if my partner is breastfeeding and I feel useless? Own bath time, skin-to-skin contact, and the bedtime routine. those become your moments. And babies remember consistent presence even before they can show it.
Yes, I think that you as a dad, and we talked about this, I think, with Cottrell. He was like, my thing was that I kept the baby clean, whether I was bathing or changing diapers or whatever it might be. So like you find where you fit in, I would imagine. So if breastfeeding obviously is mom's thing, then you've got these other set of tasks that you can take off the plate of mom and like really find joy in those things, in that little connection that you have in any moment, big or small. We were talking about schedules for kids and how important it is for them to have consistency and just know that, at 7 o'clock it's bath time, and bath time is with dad. And sometimes it's with mom, but maybe dad does it more often. And so that can like set up a secure attachment style is what we learned, and can really benefit their growth overall. So I would say, find where you fit in and own it.
So that's good advice is what you're saying.
I think it is good advice.
So first of all, the questions that it has come up with, AI in this scenario, are fantastic. Like I was genuinely kind of annoyed about the question because I was like, that's such a good question. Not only is the answer pretty good, the question's fantastic as well. Like, even if it's just like, as a new dad, you're like, how do I learn what I don't know when I don't know what I don't know? Like, how do I even, like, so even I got like, AI, what should I know? Like, well, that's a good use of AI potentially. Then check it with others.
And let's be clear, AI is just taking a massive amount of human information and compiling it into. So,
well, we hope so until it starts to pull on its own self. And then, I think I spoke to you briefly about this. Like, again, and I don't want to be like, oh, well, dads, it's all like there's so much focus on the moms. Like, it was really lonely. Like, it was a lonely period of my life because to use your football analogy, there's not a lot of defense going on some days, in which you're just kind of like sitting there and you're like, oh man, all right, so I'm playing special teams. Like, I got one kick in, like maybe, wow, that's a bad analogy, but what, you know what I mean? So like it can kind of be that like understanding that it's just, you're riding the bench for a bit, which is, for me, I'm like, I'm a Leo and center of attention. I'm like, oh man, okay. But like, so that is that part to it, right? The other part to it as well is like, for us, breastfeeding was terrible. Like, breastfeeding was not a connection, beautiful moment. Like, I don't think Jess ever, maybe a couple of feeds where it was like, oh, this is nice. The rest of the time, I'm just like kind of making sure, propping pillows up, making sure she's comfortable. I was, not to give too much, I don't think it's too much detail, but like I was helping latch like at times because there was latching problems that we had and things like that. Like at the hospital, I even pulled my back out, leaning over the bed. So bad.
Poor you.
I know. But like, I'm like sleeping on this crappy chair and I'm like trying to be helpful and like, I'm like barely moving because my back's just completely seized.
I've heard so many things about this hospital chair bed.
Again, like, dude, it would not have been a problem, but like, I've had a bad back my whole life. Like, it's what I had to stop playing football because of it. But like, again, I'm being helpful and I'm being useful to kind of contrast what AI is saying there is like the opposite of like, there's no fucking connection for anyone. It's like, this is terrible. Like, let's get this guy fed and just let's get this kind of done with because we have to, not because like it's a beautiful connection moment for mum and bubs, like where I'm like, oh damn, wish I could breastfeed.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably not, but do you know what I mean?
It can be really hard for I think it is for a lot of people.
And again, Jess had now memories, like had the C-section. So she's just had a major surgery. So she can't maneuver her body the way that she would. So I'm like literally helping with that latching process. So I was fully in on that. To the point where I was like, God, I wish I had that like moment to be like, oh, that's so sweet. Like, I love that they're getting that moment. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of like, I guess, the flip side of the coin. But yeah, other than that, I think it's really good advice. Skin to skin is something that, I definitely did parts of. I don't think it necessarily, I don't know, maybe it did more for him than it did for me. But I was like, something slightly weird about it.
There's something like, I think that, but what you're touching on, like we don't we, again, I'm not a part of this conversation.
Our podcast, yeah.
I think that dads in this context are having to trust and rely on delayed gratification for the thing that they're doing to have an impact on their kid. So I don't get to breastfeed, but I'm trusting that from what I've been told that the skin to skin contact is good for them.
Yeah.
Is the skin to skin contact doing much for me? Maybe not. But having to trust it, like in 4 years, there's going to be this inherent connection that the child has with me that came from those things that I did, the showing up, the fill in the gaps where we can when we're not able to breastfeed.
I was listening to another guy talk about it in which like, I can't think of his name. He's a business guy, but he was like, I don't have intimate moments with my son. Like he'll hug mom on the couch, but it's always playtime with me. And I was like, oh, like to your point, like maybe, not to go back. I'm not even naming his name, so I'm not throwing shade at anything. Yeah. But like maybe they didn't do the skin to skin. So like right. I probably could have done it more, but like, we have a very like, as I said before, sometimes I'm editing and he's like on me like a little chimpanzee. So like I do have a very intimate relationship with my son to a point where, we're cuddling. Again, maybe that goes away when he's a little bit older. I have no idea. But to your point, it might be that like delayed payoff that, he feels very safe with me to the point where, we've been very fortunate to never really, he went through a little bit of a mummy phase. And that was only only in Australia when he traveled with her, because I traveled 3 days later. So I think it was because of a big transitional moment that I wasn't there for. But then on the way home, I sat with him and my wife had an actual seat away from us. And he had like a little daddy thing when we got back. So we've always been very fortunate to never like, he's never really had to or needed or pushed me away and been like, no, like mum does this. So... because we've both been very involved in those things. So back to number one, right? Where it's like, dad's role in this is like, keep showing up, keep doing the little things. Like, I think, if they are getting that skin to skin time and that's important, like they're inside, they're one.
Yeah.
Like connected physically.
Literally. And like, she's like, indirectly, directly, like everything is going on. So, to then get that, I guess, close to you and like to literally physically feel your skin on their skin, that's got to be doing something. I just think you'll be either really needed, ideally, maybe that is an advantage that you're not needed. And then you're like, man, bath time's fine.
Well, to take it back to you being far away from family, it's like you were very much needed. It was y'all two in the trenches for probably 98% of, the early days. And so that made you so much more valuable. Maybe than you would have been otherwise if if other moms and moms-in-laws weren't were there. And
nans were getting up and like doing shift work type thing that could have been completely different. But and then your time is maybe even more important. So doing like the little extra inch things to make sure that you're getting additional connection if you're spending a little bit less time. Sure.
One final question for you. Last thing on our minds. We generally ask people, what is something that men, father figures, are missing as it pertains to sort of your field of expertise, which is just the long distance dadding, right? Fatherhood without any family close by. What do you think is something that men who are going through that miss most often? And that's a very challenging question, I realize.
No, well, it is. I think like even listening to you guys, like I'm jealous that I didn't have like that friend here. Not only just family, but friend. I think that's the thing I probably miss the most is like just, like, cause like I've got some friends here, but like, you know what I mean? You don't have that like friend, you guys seem pretty close cause you're creating together and stuff like that. I just miss that like friend, that buddy to like, come hang out or like, go grab just a coffee with or something like that. Like it was a lonely time so hard, right? But like it really was. It was
yeah,
like, and like,
100%.
you know, picking up the phone, it's not the same. And so like, you know, that was something that was really challenging. So, and again, could I have done a better job of potentially like reaching out to some people or
That's good for me to clock though. Yeah. Be more intentional about reaching out to people and trying to like maintain a little bit of normalcy
Yeah.
from your previous life before child.
yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah. You're in that baby bubble. It's beautiful. And then it's also like, again, as we're saying, there's certain things that you're not involved in. There's certain things that you can't have or do, or, you know, so, and I think you guys are planning on doing this show for like whilst the baby is present.
It's getting him through college.
Yeah, this is how we're doing it.
Yeah.
I have no choice
'Cause
it must continue.
Like just little things like that. Again,
Yeah.
you know, I gig work for the most part. Yes, we have the school and things like that as well. But like, you know, you're not I'm not consistently with a crew every day either.
Yeah, you don't have
right?
coworkers,
I
right?
don't have coworkers.
Yeah.
They're not like checking in on me and like they're not leaning on anyone. It was just like kind of me, Jess, Seth in our bubble. And then like outside of that, it was just like, pretend like I'm totally fine and fully functioning. And, you know, because I mean, we even had a program running at the time of the birth. So, you know, I was back in class teaching, not 2 days in.
Really?
Like, yeah, the baby was
Wow.
born. Like Seth was born. The next, not that day, but like the day after. I'm pretty sure I was like had like a 6-hour teaching day. Where I'm like, you know, you got to be razor sharp. You got to be the most present person in the room as an acting teacher.
Yeah.
So you know, you don't get to switch off at all. You know, you lapse in things. That's someone who's paid for your time to be fully involved and present. You know, you got to be more present than the actors, so that you can be like, okay, this is missing, or let's change this, or let's amplify that, or pull that back, or whatever. But you can't miss a thing. So yeah, that
2
was
days. That's so challenging.
yeah. Jess was back. I mean, basically straight away.
We were talking about this the other day about how the whole, you know, long-term disability, whatever it might be that you choose to give yourself as a freelancer, maternity leave, as it were. Some people don't have that luxury.
Or just find that it's not a luxury.
Or find that
it's
yeah.
more hassle and more expensive than to just continue working. Yeah.
And also like you get for Jess and I, we're energized by the work that we do.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? Like there are times where I go to work and I'm like, oh man, and I come back like genuinely I'm like, oh, I had a great, you know, obviously there's hard days, but like, you know, even Jess, like, you know, she'll jump on a call or do this thing. Like we're very, very fortunate to be energized by the work that we're doing. So, you know, sometimes even just a little bit of work and progression and doing things can be really healthy for you. Maybe that's the workaholics in us where we're like, we can't, you know, put it down. But like, again, it's got to be what's right for you. There is no like, you know, if you're obligated to do it, sure. Like, you know, that's hard when you're like, well, I have to, you know, and we're kind of finding that balance of like, well, we do have to get back to work. Like we got to bring in the money. You know, for us, we're running a school with students there that had paid top, like, you know, not top dollar. We charge a tenth of what a college would.
Wow. But a fair amount. Yeah, you recognize that
it doesn't matter. That was something they've worked their butt off to get there. And a lot of ours, we have international students and interstate students. Majority of our students are that. So they're paying rent and they're paying out-of-pocket expenses for our conservatory 6 months. That's a huge investment. I have to I have an obligation to them to show up and be, you know, fully present with them, no matter what's happening at home, you know? So I love that about my job. And, you know, obviously there's times where it's like, oh man, I could do without not being there right now.
Well, I very much admire the way that both you and Jess have maintained your individual creative identities and also done such a great job with Seth. I think that that's a really tough balancing act. And I think that y'all are sort of, you kind of like the blueprint for me right now. You're sort of nailing it. And then I hope that it feels like that. Probably doesn't all the time, but it's been really cool.
You go backwards like you do. Financially, you're going to go backwards.
Yeah.
Like, so there is no nest egg big enough for what you're about to do.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay me for the
I can't.
first couple
I
episodes.
actually cannot.
Guilt.
No, it's Steven. don't worry about paying me for those 2 weeks.
He's doing the nice guy thing. He wants to have that badge of honor.
Before then, because things are good, keep paying me.
Before the baby comes.
Yeah.
Do a profit.
But like
profit.
the first week or two, it's no sweat.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
You will be bringing food. The fact that you're doing the show with no baby in sight is baffling to me.
It's
What
psychotic.
are you really in this for? Like, what are you getting from this?
FOMO. I just have FOMO.
He just loves being on camera.
Are you lactose intolerant?
I've got several wild food allergies. I'm not going to tell you what they are. You're just going to have to
Is
figure them out.
lactose one of them?
No, I'm not allergic to anything.
That is important
Molly?
from on the outside point of view. Is like not just like because sometimes people are like we dropped the casserole.
Yeah.
They're like,
Dude.
I'm going to be on the toilet.
I know the meal I'm going to make you. My
Nice.
favorite meal to make.
Nice.
It's going to surprise you.
Oh, good. Can't wait.
Robbie, thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Thank
for
you.
being here.
This was
for
great.
Sharing.
I don't know if I ever closed the loop on my dad, but my dad was somewhat absent in the start. Through the middle, absolutely great and really present. And then final thing, like too good, super dad. So there's the loop.
What a trajectory for fatherhood, though. That's great that y'all have the relationship you do now.
And then final thing I'll say on that. The way that I've looked at our investment on this early stage of Seth's life, because we have gone backwards in our finances. It's been one of the toughest times in our entire lives for finances. And he's not even at the expensive stage of life. But time-wise, we've been so valuable. And I always think, like, if I was to go 20 years in the future, and ideally, we're both hard workers, we're both hustlers, we're going to make that money. Like, there is no doubt in my mind that we're going to be financially secure in the near future, yeah? We're not there now. We're far from it now, right? But would I go 20 years in the future, would I go, man, I would pay every dollar I would have earned in that time to be able to spend that time and build that relationship with my son. You'd do it any day of the week. It would be an absolute no-brainer. So I sometimes when I'm like really frustrated about money and whether it's a man or a thing, but like for me personally, it's like I got to provide for my son. I got to do this. I got to put food on the table. Like, you got to do better at that. And it's like, but at the same time, I couldn't name one of my dad's generation that had the relationship that I have with my son, and he's at 2 years old, and I would pay the money in the world to do that. And I'm so glad that I had that. So the advantage that you have is that you're going to be able to spend more time with him. Financial security may not be it, especially as a freelancer in any field. But the ability, and I always say, I've said this to you before. I was like, last time we hung out, I was like, dude, I feel like I just spoke the whole time. And same thing again. Like, you're such a good question asker. You're so interesting. You're so, interested and interesting. Like, you're so present with people. If you do even half of what you're doing, I heard it on the other episode with your friends, with your family, like, you're going to kill this to a point where it's really frustrating.
From the outside looking in, I don't like it.
Steven's better at everything. Everything than me. And he's going to be a better dad.
He's going to be such a 6'5" dad.
Cut the episode here, y'all. Cut to black. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for coming by.
Thanks for having
Jake's
me.
going to explode here in a second. Half Expecting is a Just Let Me Help production. If you like the show, don't forget to rate and follow us on Spotify and iTunes, and like and subscribe on YouTube.
Our theme song was mixed and mastered by Coda Hodge. We'd like to thank Jason Gerber for technical and production support. And we want to hear from you. If you have questions for us or want us to interview someone in particular, reach out to us at halfexpectingpod@gmail.com or find us directly on Instagram at halfexpectingpod.